Thank you. Woo! This first song is a song.
We'll introduce you first, and
oh, okay.
hello, folks. Good to have you with us on Red Barn Radio. I'm Brad Becker. We continue to celebrate the 20th season of Red Barn Radio, and tonight, folks, we welcome you to show number 786. What? Our guest this evening on Red Barn Radio is Mr. Andrew Farriss. Starting in 1977, this Australian singer-songwriter and his brothers played in more than 50 countries, and the band they assembled is credited for influencing the careers of a generation of players from Matchbox 20, The Killers, Train Walk the Moon in the 1975, among many others. The band I'm talking about is INXS, arguably among the greatest rock bands of the time. Andrew Farriss, our guest, is not only a co-founder of INXS, but was also their principal composer. His work has taken a new turn, and the influences of both American rural South and Southwest and that of his own Australian musical landscapes deliver a new and most welcome sound of country music for us all to enjoy. We are so glad to have with us Andrew Farriss and his band on Red Barn Radio.
Just like thunder, like a waterfall. I climbed a mountain, through a forest, and I have felt it all and heard the final call. Oh, say I, don't cry, tears in the rain. Oh, say I, don't cry, tears in the rain, tears in the rain. Took a journey down a river to a jungle, saw the ruins of the progress, the destruction of a proud and ancient world. Oh, say I, don't cry, tears in the rain. Oh, say I, don't cry, seasons will change, tears in the rain. Or do we want to know? Or do we walk away? What's gonna make a change? What do we have to say? Oh hey, alright. Say I, don't cry, tears in the rain. Oh, say I, don't cry, seasons will change. Oh, say I, don't cry, tears in the rain, tears in the rain. Say I, don't cry, tears in the rain. Say I, don't cry, tears in the rain. Say I,
Good evening and welcome to Red Barn Radio. Wherever in the world you're listening, welcome to Roots Music Southern Style. Thanks to WEKU, Red Barn Radio's official radio partner, NPR for Central and Eastern Kentucky. Listen online at weku.org. Red Barn Radio is supported by Visit Lex, Lexington, Kentucky's Convention and Visitors Bureau. More information on what Lexington has to offer is at visitlex.com. LexArts, Lexington, Kentucky's premier cultural development, advocacy, and fundraising organization, working for the development of a strong and vibrant arts community as a means of enhancing the quality of life in Central Kentucky. Follow Red Barn Radio on Twitter and like us on Facebook. Here's the host of Red Barn Radio to tell us more about tonight's performers.
Wow, what a pleasure it is knowing that you are here with us tonight for this very special program of music with Andrew Farriss and his band. Andrew is exploring new musical territory now in ways that will both surprise and please many who remember the artistry of his compositions with the band INXS. Throughout the COVID lockdowns, Andrew's been recording new songs of his own, songs that bleed the Southern music we all love. Andrew has a self-titled CD and a new collection, another collection of songs. He'll be playing from those this evening on our program. He's brought with him a super band, Travis New on guitars, Sam Hawksley on bass, Victoria Boland on background vocals and keys, Michael Adams on drums, and Maggie White playing fiddle and mandolin, and also singing along. Once again, we welcome Andrew Farriss to the Red Barn stage.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Would you like me to introduce the next song? Sure. This next song is a song called Love Makes the World, and it's part of a 5-track EP that I released during the pandemic on the other side of the world from here. But the song's about family, and the song is called Love Makes the World. And I have family in Australia, I have family in America, and I have family in England, so I guess I'm lucky that people care about me and love me. And anyway, this song's called Love Makes the World. In my hand, won't you marry me? You know that I'm your man. We'd be a family, oh baby, you and me. Love makes the world go round. So we walk up on the aisle, flowers in her hair, sweet smell of jasmine drifting through the air. And as we say the words, forever I care. Love makes the world go round. Your love makes the world go round. Your love makes the world go round. Stand by me when I'm falling down. I'll stand by you, I'm always around. Come on, tell me how you feel. Love makes the world go round. 3 kids are smiling, they're sharing our lives. They'll climb a mountain with hope in their eyes. How can their dreams become a rainbow? Love makes the world go round. Their love makes the world go round. Their loving makes the world go round. Everybody's waiting for someone to come home. 'Cause we're chained to how we feel. We're like rolling wheels. Roll on. By your grave, flowers in my hand. Oh God, I miss you, I know you'll understand. I will always love you right here in my heart. Love makes the world go round. Your loving makes the world go round. Your loving makes the world go round. Yeah. 'Cause we're chained to how we feel. We're like rolling wheels. Your love makes the world go round. Your loving makes the world go round. Thank you. This next song is a song that I wrote with a good friend of mine, Susie DeMarchi, and we wrote the song about having experiences as parents in different parts of the world, having children in foreign countries, and a different country than the country you were born in. And the song's called All the Stars Are Mine. 1, 2, 3, 4. I live in a foreign country. We do the same things differently, and that's okay. And I'd like to get to know you, because you're different than me, yeah. When I'm with you, everything's going my way. All the stars are mine when I'm with you. Stay here with me. Where do you belong? Ooh, my refugee. We all hang from the thread of political web, but I'll stay when I'm with you. Everything's going my way. All the stars are mine. I belong. Ooh, my refugee. We all hang from a thread of political web, but I'll stay when I'm with you. Everything's going my way. All the stars are mine when I'm with you. All the stars are mine when I'm with you. All the stars are mine when I'm with you. All the stars are mine when I'm with you. Okay, can we do that one again? I'm actually having some trouble because all I can hear is Travis virtually in my earphones things, and I love Travis's playing, but I can't hear anything else. He's just very, very loud. Yeah. It's not his amp, it's in there, I think. Yeah.
And can I get more acoustic guitar, please?
Do you want to play a bit for me, Trav, so I can hear you? Just, that's still very, very loud, Matt. Yeah. Yeah. Just play a bit of that. That's better. Sorry. Okay, let's do it. Can we run that again, please? Yeah? Okay. Are you right, Sam?
Yep.
Okay. Well, I think we already got the intro. Will you edit the intro into the front of it? I can't hear you, sorry.
You're good. You can go ahead.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
right.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4.
I live in a foreign country. We do the same things differently, and that's okay. And I'd like to get to know you, because you're different than me. Yeah. When I'm with you, everything's going my way. All the stars are mine when I'm with you. Stay here with me. Where do you belong? Ooh, my refugee. You get, and you learn and you live, you walk away. When you stand at my door and you don't ask more, why don't you stay? When I'm with you, everything's going my way. All the stars are mine when I'm with you. I messed that up. Sorry. Can we do that once more? Okay, let's do it again. Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4.
I live in a foreign country. We do the same things differently, and that's okay. And I'd like to get to know you, because you're different than me. Yeah. When I'm with you, everything's going my way. All the stars are mine when I'm with you. Stay here with me. Where do you belong? Ooh, my refugee. 'Cause you get what you get, and you learn and you live, you walk away. When you stand at my door and you don't ask more, why don't you stay? When I'm with you, everything's going Where do I belong? Ooh, my refugee. We all hang from a thread, a political web, but I'll stay when I'm with you. Everything's going my way. All the stars are mine when I'm with you. All the stars are mine when I'm with you.
All the stars are mine when I'm with you.
Okay. Well, we got through that one. Okay. Okay. This song, next song is a song that I wrote with another friend of mine, Mr. John Stevens, and also this song we wrote about losing people, people that are close to you in your life. And for John, it was his brother, and for me, it was my friend Michael, who was my brother in that sense, and I worked together with him and was my school friend for many years. Anyway. The song's called My Brother. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Where are you, brother? Where have you gone? Could you foretell the future? Now it can be undone. So did you find another reason to always stay young? Did you lose your desire for everything under the sun? I see your face in the shadow. Yeah, I miss you. Told me why, oh why, my brother.
Where is my brother?
Where have you gone,
Where has he gone?
my brother?
Where is my brother?
And this is your song, this is your song, oh yeah. Tell me why, oh why. Goodbye, brother.
Where is my brother?
Where have you gone?
Where has he gone?
There ain't no rhyme or reason,
Where is my brother?
but you always shine on.
And this is your song.
Goodbye, brother.
Where is my brother?
Where have you gone?
Where has he gone?
You left us all behind.
Where is my brother?
And this is your song. This is your song. Oh yeah. I think I'm supposed to talk a little bit here. Okay. I have a self-titled album out. It's called Andrew Farriss, and how my journey began to have a solo album is because I've always written songs. I'm a songwriter, and have done for many years, and I've written with some amazing co-writers and written on my own. But this was one song that came about because I started to re-record demos that I'd written for songs over a long period of time, like decades. And as it went along, Marlena, my beautiful wife, and I decided, well, we need a break and we'll take a holiday. So we took a trip down to southwestern the southwest of the United States. And we went right down along the Mexican border where the New Mexico and Arizona and Mexico along the border there. And there was a wrangler by the name of Craig Lawson. And he and his wife Tamara and Marlene and I went out horse riding through the national monument areas down there. And I became, overwhelmed with the history of the area. And we literally rode horses for 6 hours a day, 6 days straight. And we live on a farm down in Australia where we come from that I've had for many years. And so I began to recognize things that were parallel to our country in Australia, and I began to see similarities in things. And suddenly it didn't look like a Hollywood film so much, it looked really real to me. And I understood the nature of the area, the history of it. Of course, having the Mexican people, the Mexican army, the settlers, the pioneers, the cowboys, the Apache Indians, and the whole tumultuous history of that, the cowboys up the road at Tombstone, the whole thing. And we, of course, had parallels in our country in Australia with our bush rangers and all that, but I'll come to that in a minute. So when I came back to write with some people, actually it happened to be in Nashville. I write with people all over the world, but I happened to be in Nashville, and someone said, Andrew, what do you want to write a song about? And I said, I'd like to write a song about the Old West. And they said at me like, oh, But to me, I just felt it just came to me really naturally. I wanted to write the song. And Frank Myers put his hand up. Thank you, Frank. And so we wrote the song together called Apache Pass. I could almost see a ghost train to Douglas winding its way through rolling hills. I could almost smell the smoke from the fires as wagons burned and blue coats all were killed. And we rode our horses through Apache Pass, felt the spirit of old Geronimo. Could almost see the arrows flying and hear the rifles firing. Apache Pass is still there. We walked around and saw the ruins of Fort Buell. We read the tombstone standing by the creek. A chill ran through my bones from the cry of the silence. Black hawks are circling over me. Well, we rode our horses through Apache Pass, felt the spirit of old Geronimo. Could almost see the arrows flying and hear the rifles firing. Apache Pass is still there. All right. Cartels are running wild through the canyons, just like the outlaws long ago. Too bad Cochise ain't living any longer. He chased them all right back to Mexico. Well, we rode our horses through Apache Pass, felt the spirit of old Geronimo. Could almost see the arrows flying and hear the rifles firing. Apache Pass is still their home. as you pass, you're still there home. Thank you. This next song, a song from my self-titled album, and the song is called Come Midnight. Never find a girl like you, somebody who understands me as well as I know you, and you're good to me. I'll be your company anytime. Come midnight, the stars are your only light. Tossing and turning, and things just don't go right. If you need somebody, you can call somebody tonight. Come midnight, come midnight, come midnight. I'm just another lonely guy, thinking about a special woman with gentle eyes, and you're good to me. Yes, you're part of me eternally. If you need somebody, you can call somebody tonight. Good as you, somebody who understands me as well as I know you. If you need somebody, you can call somebody tonight. Come midnight, come midnight.
All right. Hey, Andrew, so good to have you here.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, I hope you're enjoying yourself, all you folks up there. The music sounds great.
Thank you.
And that last song you just played was the first one that I heard of your new musical work, you know, of recent years.
Yeah, that's right. Well, that was part of the journey. I started re-recording old demos of my work, and then I wanted to, because I had one recording, like say on your smartphone, then I had another one on, you know, on a device that was even older, and then I had something else, and I had this, or I might have just written it down with the lyric or some music, and I hadn't really recorded them properly, and I started re-recording it, and that was one of the first ones I started to re-record, and also because my wife Marlena had it on a ringtone, my original demo, and so I used to wake up all the time to that song, and I'd go, oh no, there it is again, you know, I have to hear it again, but then I realized, wake up, stupid, she actually likes the song. So I actually re-recorded it. And then that was the beginning of what led to me making an album. Yeah.
Oh, right. Nice. So from the get-go, did it have that guitar line, or did that come later?
Sorry, I couldn't hear. What was that?
Well, so from the get-go, did it have that guitar line? Da, 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 da.
Yeah, I'm not, I'm not embarrassed to say that when I originally recorded the very original demo, it was about around about 1987 or something like that, and then I recorded it on a little 8-track tape recorder. Tape. Isn't that funny? And I recorded it on tape, and then when I retracked it not that long ago, I actually asked the engineer to drop in my original guitar part off the tape, so it's playing along with the guitar from 30 years ago. Yeah.
Oh, all right.
I wrote those riffs. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that a lot, but I'm surprised it's so old that you did that song so long ago.
Yeah. Well, you get that.
Yeah, but I mean, so what that tells me, though, is that you had sort of some country music sounds, rural country music sounds in your head long before, 5 years ago.
Well, that's right. Yeah, I mean, I've always been a fan of lots of different genres of music, including country, bluegrass, folk, all sorts of areas that I would never, in my journey originally, I have no regrets with my band. Everything became about technology. Originally when we started playing in the 70s, if you couldn't play your instrument, then you didn't get a recording. And if you couldn't play things without electronics, then you didn't get a gig.
Yeah, right.
And that's how it started. And then I started messing around with drum machines and programming things, and then I started messing around with samples and got into sort of early forms of dance music, or whatever you want to call it, electronic music. And then I began to come back to my roots more recently, where I just love playing real instruments in real time.
Yeah.
But I understand the technology of it all. Yeah.
Well, that's an asset. I don't know that there are a lot of musicians who can't boast that, because it just changes so fast and it seems overwhelming sometimes.
Right. Well, that's one thing I've learnt from owning a farm for 30 years, Brad, is you can't eat a smartphone.
Yeah. Right. So I was just thinking, it must be really liberating for you. You've had a lot of success in your musical career, but now to be able to come to this point here, where you're paring it down and the stakes aren't high. Are you? I know you're a hard worker. Are you concerned about how many songs sell, and I mean, obviously you want people to listen and you want the songs to be successful, but how do you sort of measure the success of your musical efforts now compared to how you did then?
Well, that's a good question. During my time with INXS, my band, my brothers, my friends, we worked in over 50 countries, and there was a time when I lived in Europe for almost 5 years, and I've realized as time goes along, look, you're really lucky if anyone likes your music in any decade or generation or whatever. And I've been really fortunate. I've had lots of people that got into the music that I was writing and people I've been performing with. And I'm lucky right here that anyone's listening to me at all. And, in this room, and I've got these amazing musicians with me, and it's fantastic.
Well, I wonder if there is a story to tell about how you got into music, when, your earliest recollections of music getting in your blood.
Well, I guess what probably had a big influence on the beginnings of my career was my father had been in the Royal Navy, and at the end of World War II, he went out to Australia and met my mother there in Perth in Western Australia. And then in those years, people didn't fly everywhere. They went by ship overseas, or they didn't go at all, And so Dad hadn't been back to see his parents in England, or my grandparents, for 15 years. And he made like a little 45 record so they could talk to each other, because I guess they didn't call each other on telephones very much or whatever. And it's expensive too. So he put us all on a ship when I was about 5 years old, and my older brother was 7, my younger brother was 3, and we went by ship for 3 weeks to England. And I remember we went through the port of Aden in the Middle East. I remember holding Dad's hand, and everyone looked like they were part of a nativity, because
they were all dressed very differently, you know, from a different culture. And we went through the Suez Canal. When we got to London, we arrived there, and people in those years, as I said before, I don't think they travelled quite as much as they do now. And post-pandemic, that might be different, but anyway. And then, so, kind of long story short, that we got invited to go down to a television show on the BBC, and the Beatles walked out and played. So that was the first band I ever saw as a kid. And I thought, that's pretty good, you know?
Yeah, I'd say that works.
Yeah, I was sitting there in shorts, you know, and little polished black shoes, and going, this is great, you know, as I'm watching it, you know. And then I didn't realise that we were seeing something pretty special. That was in 1964.
So you were how old at that time?
Sorry?
You were how old at that time?
5, yeah. But I remember it because the television cameras were going back and forward in the room. They were really interesting to me as a kid because they looked like big grey pterodactyls, you know, going back and forward, you know. And then, but afterwards, you know, many years later, when I'd had a lot of success in my band with my brothers, with INXS, and we said to my father when he was alive back then, Tim, my elder brother, and I said to my father, Dennis, did that really happen? Did we really do that? He said, yeah, and afterwards you went and talked to him. So that was pretty surreal as well. But they're just people, you know. People forget that in the entertainment industry. We're just people, you know. We have just as many frailties and difficulties getting through life as everybody else.
Well, sure, sure. And so as a young person, were there adults who you would consider sort of mentors for you?
Sure.
In music, school teachers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, I was a little brat, I'll be honest with you.
Really?
Brad, okay. What happened was I started to learn the piano when I was 9, and I started to get into it. And then all my little guy friends wanted to play sport and stuff, and I'm doing all this classical piano stuff, right? And then I got really bored with it, and I said to my mother, look, I don't want to do this. I want to play football with my friends, you know. So I stopped because that was my first instrument, was the piano, you know. And then I was fooling around. I jumped off a fence and I landed on a fence paling with 2 big nails sticking out of it on my heel. So then I was laid up in bed for a while, and she said, "How are you going with that?" And I said, "Oh, it really hurts." And then and then she said, "Would you think about playing the piano again?" I said, "Yeah, sure." So, but this time around, do you mind if I don't like learn the whole classical thing? Is there anyone that can teach me how to just play chords and work out how harmony works, you know? Like if you have a C chord, like the relative minor is an A minor, right? All that kind of stuff. Can you just show me how all that works, you know? And she said, well, you know, I'm a precocious little kid, you know. Can't just shut up and do your scales,
Suzuki.
right? And
Right.
But I didn't, and luckily Mum was pretty switched on. She found someone that used to sit with me and just teach me how harmony works, you know. And I've used that as I didn't realise at the time, but what I was actually doing was learning to write songs as a kid, because then I began to realise how harmony worked, and I realised the structure of it all and how you could really do anything. There's no rule book. There's nothing when you're writing a song that says in page 48 you can't do this, and page 51, right, you have to do this, you will do that. Do whatever you want, you know.
Yeah. So this teacher wasn't teaching you chord theory, but were they drawing upon songs that you were kind of familiar with? Were they drawing upon rock melodies and things like that at that point, or was it simpler than that?
Well, I don't have a piano to sort of show you what I used to do, but yeah, I liked pop songs from the day, you know. And growing up in a little city like Perth in Western Australia, which is the most geographically remote city in the world, right? They only had, when we were kids, one radio station that played all kinds of music. And it wasn't until I got older and started to travel more that I realized that people have segregated radio. They say, well, this kind of music has to be on this station, and that one has to be on that station. I thought all the kind of music came out of one radio station, you know? And so I grew up thinking, well, as a songwriter, I'll just write anything I want. I'll you know, grab pieces of music from wherever I want, you know, and styles or whatever. It didn't really bother me. It still doesn't. You know.
I love that. So was this a rural setting where you grew up? It was remote, you said, but was it country?
Perth, geographically, Western Australia is about, to give folks some idea, is about 3 times the size of Texas, the actual size of it, right? And it's basically, a lot of it's sort of, in these days, mining. You know, it's just, and Perth in the years when we were growing up was really like a kind of like a little mining town, you know. really, in a huge, big state. You know? And so most of the focus was really on that kind of thing more than music or the arts or whatever.
Sure.
Yeah.
And what about where you and Marlena live now, your farm? Where is that?
Yeah, right. Well, that was a long story how I ended up there. Yeah, we live in a fairly remote area. I guess you guys would call it the outback. We live on the western side of the Great Dividing Range on the east coast of Australia. And I bought that farm. I had had a dairy farm before that I owned at the height of my band's career because I was living out of a suitcase. And everywhere I went and everything I did was always, you know, from one city to another. And I just became really disconnected from the earth, you know, from the ground. But we're all connected to the earth, even if we don't think we are. It controls everything we do, or it should, you know?
Yeah.
And then I began to realize that, so I bought an old dairy farm. I did it up. I didn't really know what I was doing. But all I've learned from farming is try not to hurt yourself, you know? That's what I've learned from it.
Are you unafraid to dive in to fix stuff? Say the tractor breaks. Do you jump
Like I
in
said,
and do
as
it?
long as I don't hurt myself, yeah. And I know now when I can't do something, I don't do it. And if I can do something, then I'll keep going with it. And if I can't do it, I'll ask for help. You know, like my dad used to say, no one gets through life without help from other people. You know?
Marlena says you're in great health, and that because you stay so busy and you work so hard. Does the farm give you? Is it a great outlet for you to exercise and move and breathe in the outdoors?
Look, I'll give folks a little understanding. Kind of, most Australians really. It's a bit of a generalisation, but I think it's true. Most Australians live on the coast around Australia because we're one big island basically, or they live in our beautiful big cities. But I like the idea of moving inland, and I just feel good when I'm out there, and then when I'm not doing all of this, I work physically, you know, and it gives me I've got a space to think about things carefully, you know, yeah.
Yeah. Hey, folks, I'm talking with Andrew Farriss. He's here with his band today. We are so glad to have him here with us and having such a great time talking with him. But there's plenty more music to happen now, and we'll come back and chat some more in a little bit.
Cool.
All right. Welcome back, Andrew Farriss.
Thank you, Brett. Am I supposed to be saying something? Yeah, right. Yeah. Am I supposed to intro the next song?
Absolutely. I love it when you intro songs. No, I just love hearing you talk about your tunes. It's great.
Okay, I'll be verbose. So, yeah, I'm looking. Thanks. Looking for this. One of the many cities in the United States that I love to visit is New Orleans, and yeah, and I love the food there. I love the culture. I love the fusions of different music in that city, and Marlena and I went there to explore it together as well and look around, and but it just is an incredible, like I said, fusion of musics. And I came up with this idea for this song once I realized what my album was beginning to be like, and it's called My Cajun Girl.
1, 2, 1. I was standing by the doorway, listening to the band in a New Orleans honky-tonk when I saw that Cajun girl. She looked like Southern comfort as she danced across the floor. A real head turner, a sweet heartbreaker. I knew I'd have to have more. Cajun girl, my Cajun girl, she fell right through the wall. My Cajun girl, right into my world. Cajun girl. Oh, sorry. Okay.
Am I playing in the right key? I think I am. I can't hear what am I missing? How are you going, Trav? You all right? Sorry. Hang on.
Do you need more guitar?
I don't know. Okay. That's technical thing. Okay. I think I'm too loud. If anything, just pull me back a little bit, please. Yeah. Okay, that's good. Sorry. Yeah. All right. Yeah. This next song is a song called "My Cajun Girl."
1, 2, 1. I was standing by the doorway, listening to the band in a New Orleans honky-tonk when I saw that Cajun girl. She looked like Southern comfort as she danced across the floor. A real head turner, a sweet heartbreaker. I knew I'd have to have more. Cajun girl, my Cajun girl, she fell right through the wall. My Cajun girl, yeah, right into my world. My Cajun girl. Well, she sure got my attention as I tried to play it cool. Then to my surprise, she took my hand, let's dance and break the rules. She said, would you like a hurricane? She took me with that smile. I said, yes, I'd like to dance with you, my Cajun girl, my Cajun girl, my Cajun girl. She fell right through the wall. My Cajun girl, yeah, right into my world. My Cajun girl, let's have it all. Well, the band had a fiddle and a mandolin, guitars that hammered on a funky rhythm section, so we all jammed along. A little bit of bluegrass, little bit of country, that's what turned her on. She said, I like the kind of music, and this is my kind of song. Cajun girl, my Cajun girl, she fell right through the wall. My Cajun girl, yeah, right into my world. My Cajun girl, let's have it all. My Cajun girl, let's have it all. Thank you. Okay. This next song is a song that I wrote a long time ago with Mr. Michael Hutchins, who he and I wrote probably about 300 songs together for a band called INXS that we were in, and we had a fantastic songwriting partnership, and sadly Michael passed away, but I'd like to dedicate this song to him, and this song is called Need You Tonight. Yeah. Come over here. All you got is this moment. 21st century's yesterday. You can care all you want. Everybody does, yeah, well, that's okay. So slide over here and give me a moment. Your moves are so raw, and I got to let you know. Yeah, I got to to let you know you're one of my kind. I need you tonight, 'cause I'm not sleeping. There's something about you, girl, that makes me sweat. How do you feel? I'm lonely. What do you think? Can't think it all. What you gonna do? Gonna live my life. So slide over here and give me a moment. Your moves are so raw. I got to let you know. Yeah, I got to let you know you're one of my kind. Hey, come on, Megan. Slide over here and give me a moment. Your moves are so raw, and I got to let you know. Yeah, I got to let you know you're one of my kind. Hey. I need you tonight, 'cause I'm not sleeping. Something about you, girl, that makes me sweat. How do you feel? I'm lonely. What do you think? I can't think at all. What you gonna do? Gonna live my life. How do you feel? I'm lonely. Hey, what do you think? Can't think at all. What you gonna do? Gonna live my life. Yeah, so slide over here and give me a moment. Your moves are so raw, and I got to let you know. Yeah, I got to let you know you're one of my kind.
Okay, well, that was Need You Tonight. And this next song is another song off my self-titled album called Andrew Farriss. I got no imagination, I just had to call it that. Yeah. But the song, and I'll just wait for Maggie to get hooked in here. The song's called, what is it called again? Run Baby Run, that's it. And it's in E, isn't it?
It is.
It's in E, that's good, okay. All right, we ready, Maggie? I was just dancing there for a minute while I got it together, you know. Okay. Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4.
A million miles an hour, flying to the sun, chasing down forever. Run, baby, run. Oh, yeah. disillusion, living on the edge. Are you part of the solution, or stuck inside your head? No, yeah. Movers, shakers, troublemakers, turning up the night for the young and wild, the inner child that's always been alive. Oh, run, baby, run. Oh, run, baby, run. Run, baby, run.
Na 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 na.
Run, baby, run.
Na 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 na.
Run, baby, run. Movers, shakers, run, baby, run. Movers, shakers, run, baby, run. For the movers, shakers, troublemakers, turning up the night for the young and wild, the inner child that's always been alive. Oh, run, baby, run. Oh, run, baby, run. Ah, yeah. Run, baby, run. Oh, run, baby, run. Run, baby, run.
Na na na.
Run, baby, run. Run, baby, run. Run, baby,
We've got lots more music and conversation with Andrew Farriss, but I'd like to take a minute to remind listeners of a couple of things. First of all, Red Barn live streams, both tonight's and on any Wednesday, remain available online for you to view at your convenience on the Red Barn YouTube channel. And this too, our live video stream is also available on the weku.org website, as is our audio stream, compliments of WGAD.net in central New York. Don't miss a single episode of our program, and for heaven's sakes, be sure to tell your friends what it is that you like about the Red Barn radio experience and tell them why they should get into it. Next week, our guest is Nick Dittmeyer and the Sawdusters. At the height of the pandemic, Nick Dittmeyer said, it became clear to me that with everything we'd been through, there was going to be a different mind coming out the other side. As a band, we decided we weren't going to try to go back and replicate who we were or the reality we were living before COVID. A lot of people were fixated on getting back to quote unquote normal, but to me, says Nick, it seemed pretty obvious that wasn't even on the table. So, forcing themselves out of their comfort zones, Dittmeyer and the Sawdusters began stripping back their roots rock bluster and leaving room for new textures. With drum machines, loopers, synths, their new release, Heavy Denim, finds Dittmeyer and the Sawdusters fearlessly reinventing their sound. You can hear what that's all about this coming week, our last program of our 20th season. That's Nick Dittmeyer and the Sawdusters on Red Barn Radio. Help me out with this one, John. Red Barn Radio. Listen to the live. Let's get back to tonight's Red Barn Radio program. We welcome you live on our social media platforms, broadcasting from the Arts Place Performance Hall here in the grand city of Lexington, Kentucky. And we're so glad that Andrew Farriss and his band can be with us in Lexington, Kentucky and on Red Barn Radio. Welcome them back now.
Thank you. Right. This next song is about bushrangers, kind of like your outlaws, I guess, from the Old West. And in Australia, we had those sort of people too. And there was a guy particularly called Ned Kelly and his brothers and his family. And they were struggling to survive back in the day. And so he went out against the law, and he was a kind of Robin Hood character. you know. Anyway, the song is called "With the Kelly Gang." Yeah. He said he was a complicated man, a real good heart, but blood on his hands. He saved a boy from drowning out in Avenel, raised him from a river like he raised hell. They called him an outlaw, a wanted man, and nothing more. If I'd seen what he saw, I know exactly what I'd have done. I would have run, 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 run with the Kelly gang. Poor boy was born a widow's son, head of the house 'cause his daddy died young. To put food on the table, he stole a rich man's horse. He set the stable on fire and set his course. They called him an outlaw, a wanted man, and nothing more. They called him the outlaw, hardly wait to see him fall. I would have run, 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 run with the Kelly gang. Such is life. He shot his friends and his brother dead, marched him to the gallows instead. And on a full moon in November, they came and took his life, but he never did surrender. The wind cried, such is life. They called him an outlaw, a wanted man, and nothing more. They called him the outlaw, hardly wait to see him fall. If I'd seen what he saw, I know exactly what I'd have done. I would run, 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 run with the Kelly gang. The wind cry, such is life. Thank you. This next song is a song off my self-titled album, Andrew Farriss, and the song is called "Where Do You Sleep Tonight?" It's pretty self-explanatory when you listen to it. Okay. Not ready. February is just done.
sleep tonight? Oh yeah. Where do you sleep tonight? Kept telling me there would be sunshine. It was raining, and they were lying. I'm a virgin, I'm falling. What your heart says, and I heard you were locked out, lost and lonely. Where do you sleep tonight? Sleep tonight. Oh yeah. Where do you sleep tonight? Okay. Thank you. Okay, this next song is a song, again, I guess, about outlaws, and this one's about a young guy who thinks he's going to solve all his problems, riding around, I guess, in the Old West or wherever he is, and he thinks he can solve all his problems with a gun. It's called Son of a Gun. Riding hard across stony ground with a price upon your head. The sheriff got your name upon his wall. You better ride on or you're gonna fall. All of those crazy nights, whiskey, wild women starting dive bar fights. Sheriff's gonna get you, gonna hunt you down if you don't surrender, young son of a gun. Son of a gun. Son of a gun. Son of a gun. A pretty girl with an ugly heart. She stole your soul on a moonlit night. A head full of whiskey, couldn't see the light. The hard rains tumble down. Now listen to the wind calling out your name. This ain't no joke and it ain't no game. Don't you remember what your papa said, son? The devil lies awaiting on both ends of the gun. Son of a gun. Son of a gun.
Son of a gun.
Crazy son of a gun.
Son of a gun.
Yeah, you better ride on.
Better ride on.
You better move on.
Better move on.
You better ride on.
Better ride on.
You better move on. Well, the county sheriff and the bounty hunter, they finally tracked you down. They caught you hiding out in a silver mine on the other side of town. Now wildflowers grow on your nameless grave, and the howling wind's your friend. The preacher tried to tell you there's another soul, but the devil waits on both ends of the gun.
Son of a 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 gun.
Crazy son of a gun.
Son of a gun.
Yeah, you better ride on.
Better ride on.
You better move on.
Better move on.
You better ride on.
Better ride on.
You better move on.
Young son of a gun.
Well, I hope you all out there are enjoying our time with Andrew Farriss and his band as even half as much as we are. This has been so much fun, Andrew. I would love for you to talk a little bit about some of the cool awards that you've been presented with for the achievement that you've had in your life. And one in particular, I like to talk about a couple, but one is the I don't know if it's pronounced Combs or Coombs Fellowship with the Australian National University in Canberra. Is it Coombs or Combs?
H.C. Coombs.
Coombs. Okay, gotcha.
Coombs, yeah.
Yeah.
He back in the day, he was a person that really helped the Australian National University, and they recognised that by giving an award, fellowship, and the university very kindly awarded me with that. And I spent a year with Marlena at the Australian National University as part of the music college there, working with students and other people and trying to help people wherever I could.
Oh, I love thinking about that and what that must have been like. Did you have a nice experience doing that? Did you do classes, lectures?
Yeah, some lectures, some seminars. I try to sort of, because I'm not an academic, I just tried to sort of stay out of the way of people who are much smarter than me. I decided to just sort of, I don't know, help, and especially talk to younger people. I found it wasn't so much that I would have pearls of wisdom to give people. I just wanted to find out as young people what they were trying to achieve in their life, and how music fitted into it.
And it must have been interesting for you to talk to young people who maybe were not familiar with some of the music that you had previously done, right? Because you were talking with younger people who weren't necessarily listening to that music.
Right, yeah.
Time. Right.
Well, some of the people I was talking to were my son's age at that time. And so I sort of felt a little bit more like a mentor in some ways, to help them. And also I wanted to try and sort of basically say that as much as a lot of technical things and mathematics and things come into music, I also like the idea of that you can do whatever you want, that there are no rules. Like I was saying, there's rules, but there kind of are no rules,
Yeah. Did you meet some really talented kids? There's a music school there,
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah. But I think some people, musicians, they feel much more comfortable, playing everything, and not, experimenting too much. And I respect that too. People can do whatever they want to do,
Yeah.
musically, that is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in our country, we have something, the National Medal of Arts or Presidential Medal of Freedom, and that is an award that's been bestowed upon artists ranging from, Aaron Copland to Stephen Sondheim and, Stevie Wonder, Bruce Springsteen, and you were awarded the Order of Australia, AM, for your contributions to music, and as an ambassador for the Nordhoff Robbins Charity Institute. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Sure.
Congratulations, by the way. It's amazing. Yeah.
Sorry, what's
Yeah,
the question?
congratulations to you.
Oh, yeah.
By the way,
absolutely.
that's
Look,
just amazing.
The Nordhoff Robbins Institute is for various stages of autism and for people who, affected by that and their families and people who are trying to support them and help them through all that. But I think what you're also talking about, awards and accolades and all that stuff, I've got a few thoughts philosophically on all that. Awards are wonderful things, but they're only as good as the life you've got to hang them on, It's it's no use having an award if you don't have a family and friends, and a home or anything else,
Yeah.
So people sometimes, but I'm very grateful for especially when you talk about an Order of Australia, that kind of came out of nowhere. I didn't see that one coming, but I felt really, most of all, I felt really overwhelmed emotionally because I'm an Australian, but also I felt overwhelmed emotionally because when you sit in a room and when the officials are handing out your Order of Australia, you listen to how other people have been given an accolade like that. And I became quite emotional listening to other people's stories, not about me, but about, say, people in the military, because there's various levels of those orders, including military, and I listened to the stories of how military people what they had to go through to get some of those orders, and I became quite emotional. You know, same with a man who just almost lost his life trying to save someone out in the ocean from drowning. You know, listening to these sorts of things, and then you go, gee, why are they giving one to me? You know, and you listen to all these stories of other people. It's not just about me; it's about the whole thing. You know.
Well, you know, gratitude just sort of pours out of your music. I mean, you know, several of the songs you've played tonight, you played a song about kids, you know, about your kids and your experience raising them, and about the people you love. And one of the first songs you played, I'm sorry, the title, it's one of your newer tunes, "Love Makes the World."
Right.
You know, and it sounds that this seems like a good period of time for you.
Absolutely.
You know, to be able to look back and look at that life that you can hang those achievements on and feel proud of it and thankful for it.
Absolutely. Yeah, you've got 2 ears and 1 mouth, right?
Yeah.
So I guess it's better to listen sometimes more than talk too much.
I wonder if you wouldn't mind talking a little bit more about the song that you wrote. That you referenced that song about bringing kids up in different
All
in different
Stars of
countries.
Mine.
Yeah,
Sure,
I would love to
yeah.
hear you talk more about that.
Yeah, All the Stars of Mine is a song that I co-wrote with Susie DiMarchi, and we wrote that song because both of us had children born in foreign countries from the country we were born in, and then, you know, having those experiences, it helps you to gain empathy for other people, you know, because you realize that, you know, really we're all living on one earth, you know. We've only got one earth, that's all we got, you know.
Yeah.
And we all get along now, you know.
Uh-huh. And was that, do you feel when you look back at that experience and you think about your children, do you feel that was a real gift that you gave them, that experience of growing up in different places and different cultures?
Yeah, I mean, you know, you know, when you're proud of your country and you have fortunate to have had a country that, you know, that you have had a good upbringing and you have good food and water and a roof over your head and people love you and care about you, and then you go somewhere else and they do the same thing, you're a very fortunate person, you know. Some people don't have that experience, you know. So I think that was a lot of what, you know, where we got the idea for that song from.
So on songwriting, I'm a school teacher, so I'm going to frame these in true-false questions for you. So when you think about your life in songwriting, your experience, true or false, the best songs are generally ones that have been worked on over a long period of time. True or false?
I think it depends on the songwriter, and I think it depends on the circumstances. I mean, a couple of the biggest hits that when I was writing with and for the guys from INXS, some of those songs were written like really quickly, those really big hits, you know, and other ones were really long train coming. You know, there was a long time coming before the ideas really stick, you know. But I've always worked that way. I have ideas still from a long time ago that I can't finish the idea. I like the idea. That I'm sure a lot of writers would relate to this when they're listening to me say this. Is that you work on these ideas and you don't know if anyone's going to like them anyway. You don't know, you know.
Right.
You have no idea really, and you just do the best you can with what you have in the time you have to do it. You know.
Great response. Can you go with, how about number 2? Ready? True, false. The songs listeners usually like most are ones you would also consider your own favorites.
Sorry, just rephrase
The songs, sorry, I'll repeat. The songs that listeners usually like the most are ones you also consider your own personal favorites.
Well, I think, yeah, I mean, I guess that's where the phrase popular music came from, in any genre, really.
Yeah.
Going back, you know, 200, 100 years ago, 50 years ago, 10 minutes ago, you know, 10 years ago, you know, 1,000 years ago. I mean, there's lots of ancient melodies that have been from indigenous cultures that used to get sung from parents to children because they had no recording equipment. So they used to sing them to them when they were little children, and they'd learn the lyrics and the words. Like, for example, the Australian Aboriginal people would do that, and they would pass down stories, you know, through generations of people for thousands of years, you know. But I guess we do the same thing in our world now, but we just do it in a different way or something.
That happens a lot here in Kentucky. I mean, that's such a big part. Well, it's such a big part of country music,
Sure.
right? And it's such a big part of music that comes out of Appalachia. It's that tradition
Right.
that's been passed on from the mountains, and you know, it's an amazing thing. Okay, I have two other true false, but I'm going to skip them because I want to go to the indigenous people.
Yeah.
Of Australia, and you are working in particular. I was thinking about your collaborations because you've done a lot of that. There's a person who I was unfamiliar with, who you have done some collaborating with. I'm sorry, I'm unable to find it in my
Okay.
notes. Your Marika?
Yirmal.
Oh, say that again.
His name is Yirmal.
Yurmo.
You have to
Yeah. Okay. Good.
It's-
I'll work on
and-
that
and
one.
then, yeah, as part of their culture in Northern Territory, I worked with that family of people about 25 years ago as well. An older group of people originally called Yothu Yindi. I worked with them a lot, and they asked me to produce an album for them for the 2000 Olympics and the turn of the millennium. They asked me to write with them as well, and I said, look, I'd really rather not write songs with you because this is your culture. I don't really want to do that. And they said, well, that's part of the reason we want you in the room, mate, as they would say. And I said, okay, well, I'll write with you then. But, you know, for example, one of the songs we were writing together was a song called Surfing the Log. Okay, now we have a lot of surfing in Australia because we have a big coastline. Right? And at first, I've been writing songs for a long time. I'm sitting in this room with these guys from Yothu Yindi, and we start writing this song. And one of them starts saying, the fish circles the wood, the eye of the fish, you know, in the log. And I'm going, you know, I've written a lot of lyrics, but I'm not quite sure what we're singing about anymore, you know. And I'm listening, I'm trying to understand the thread of the lyric, you know.
Yeah.
Then I realise they're actually singing about a death ceremony, you know. Because in that part of Northern Territory, that they in their culture before we all came along, they would put you up in trees when you passed away, and the little green ants would eat all the flesh off your body, and they'd take your bones and they'd stuff it inside a log, and they'd cap up the ends and they'd throw you in the ocean.
Yeah.
Right?
Amazing. Yeah.
That's right. That's what it was like working with those people. For me, it was really interesting because I learnt so much from them. How much I don't know. You know, to answer your question you asked me before, last year I produced an album for one of that family of people, but a younger generation. His name is Yirmal, and he comes from that family of people. Yirmal Marika. That's his name. Yeah.
So I had a chance to listen to one of his songs. I was sort of fascinated, and I was kind of wondering if it was one that you had worked on with him. It was called, again, I can't pronounce it, Daliwi.
Daliwe Bay.
Yeah, and there was pedal steel in that song. I heard pedal steel. I heard other sounds. I heard other sounds that sounded very much.
Well, that was my fault. That was because he asked me to produce the record, and again, you know, this time around, I didn't actually co-write anything on that record, and that's okay. I respect that. You know, I know what songwriting's like, and he just wanted me to produce the record, and so he gave me, you know, sort of carte blanche or free rein to go find anyone I want, and I like, you know, the musicians, and I get on great with so many people in Australia, and I handpicked the people to play on that, and he brought a couple of people with him from Arnhem Land, Northern Territory, to play, and they stayed with me and my family on the farm for a month, and then we just recorded. But a good mate of mine, Laurie Minson, played the pedal steel, and we know Loz, as we call him, really well, and he came, and he's a utility guy, which I found out from Sam isn't a plumber, or someone who works for the power company. It actually plays a multitude of different instruments. And so Loz came along, and he's one of those utility guys. Plays banjo, pedal steel, dobro. He sings, plays electric guitar, acoustic guitar. It's incredible. Plus he writes, you know. So I invited Loz along because he's a utility guy. You know.
Yeah.
He can fix the power too.
Oh, nice. So country music is really popular in Australia, I understand. Does Australia have a city that is sort of considered your sort of epicenter of country music, like we have in Nashville?
Right.
Do you have
Yes,
something
yes,
like
yes.
that, or like a city
Sure,
that's like
sure.
that?
Well, yes, we do, and it's called Tamworth. And where our farm is that I live is not very far from Tamworth. We're actually sort of a local, and that's not why I chose the farm where we live. I chose the farm because it's a good farm. It just purely happened to be a coincidence. It's near, Australia's version of Nashville, which is Tamworth. But even walking around Kentucky earlier on today with a good friend of mine, we were wandering around, and we had an amazing, this town, Lexington in Kentucky.
Yeah.
And we were talking to a guy who looks after one of your historical building estates, and he wandered over to us when we started talking to him, and he said that his family, would jam with people like Dr. Ralph Stanley and people like that, and that's just walking around this town, I thought that's amazing,
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is amazing. You've had a chance, obviously, to spend some time in Nashville. Can you sort of compare and contrast the sort of country culture in Tamworth and that in Nashville? What do you see in Nashville that you like, and what do you see that kind of makes you puzzled?
I think, well, to compare them is a bit strange, but I was going to say that, first of all, they're different countries, but secondly, and slightly different cultures. But I was going to say
Slightly.
that the one thing that I think, really draws a lot of musicians and songwriters to Nashville is that they're like-minded people. They're creative people. They love performing with instruments, and they're great songwriters. And it makes people feel good to be there because there's like-minded people there, and there's people go there to hear people like that, and to and other people in the music industry will do that too. And I hope that continues for many years to come.
Tell us about the band you brought with you tonight. I think it's time we introduce them. Introduce these folks on the stage with you.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, this is Maggie White here on the mandolin and fiddle.
All right.
And Maggie's kind enough to come on board. And Victoria Boland singing with us and playing keys. And thank you. And then Mr. Sam Hawksley at the back here plays guitar. And he plays bass, but I think he plays and he sings, but he does other things. Do you want to tell anybody what you...
I tell jokes.
He tells jokes?
Not good ones, but dad ones normally.
If you
Okay.
if you have one to tell, now's the time.
No.
Okay. All right. You can skip that. All right.
And Michael Adams back here on the drums.
Hey.
And Michael, he's been awesome to work with. And yeah, and over here behind me is Mr. Travis New, and plays guitars and sings.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, Maggie and Michael, backwards. Maggie and Michael and Victoria and Sam, Travis and Andrew, it has been great to have you on our little program here. And
you
I'm
for
so
having us.
glad you all could make this a stop in your travels.
Thank you very much.
And we would just welcome you back, and we've just gotten a lot out of your music and the new things you're doing.
Well, it's great to be here.
Yeah.
And I think I'm supposed to now sing another song. Is that the
You
idea?
can sing another song,
Okay.
and you can
Well,
introduce it too if you want.
Right. I'd like to dedicate this next song to Marlena, my wife, and this song is called Starlight.
1, 2, 1.
Sitting in the corner of my life, so hard to see you face the darkness. Staying strong, heaven knows I try. Watching you hurting was the hardest thing to do, and I prayed so hard for you that someday we'd be here, standing on a hill and looking out. You're here beside me, the blue eyes I see have never been more beautiful than now. It's our night, your smile is like starlight. hear it's like the voice of God. Sounds like rolling thunder in the valley. And in the distance stands Mount Capitar. Not even that can come between us and my love. How I've seen you rise above, like an eagle soaring, standing on a hill and looking out. You're here beside me, the blue eyes I see have never been more beautiful than now. It's how nice your smile is, like starlight, starlight, starlight. So hard for you. Now heaven's right here, standing on a hill, looking out. You're here beside me, the blue eyes I see have never been more beautiful than now. It's how nice your smile is, like your smile is like starlight.
Thank you. This next song is a song that one of many songs that I wrote with Michael Hutchence and our band at that time, INXS. We performed in so many countries all around the world, and it's a song that I'd like to dedicate to him, to Michael. And the song goes like this, called Never Tear Us Apart.
Don't ask me what you know is true. I don't have to tell you I love your precious heart. Yeah, and I was standing, you were there. Two worlds collided, they could never, ever tear us apart.
We could live for 1,000 years, but if I hurt you, I'd make wine from your tears. I told you, yeah, that we could fly, 'cause we all have wings, but some of us don't know why. I was standing, you were there. Collided, and they could never, ever tear us apart.
Well, there are so many people to thank for our program tonight. First, Andrew Farriss and his band, our guests this evening. We are ever grateful for our volunteers and staff who make this production happen each and every week so beautifully. We want to thank all of you for listening to our webcast, watching us on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch, and to those of you listening to us on the network of Red Barn stations and media worldwide. Thanks to WEKU, Red Barn's premier radio partner, NPR, for Central and Eastern Kentucky. Listen online at weku.org because it's your chance to hear more great live music from Red Barn Radio. And WEKU, NPR, for Central and Eastern Kentucky. Those of you here in the Central Kentucky area, you got to be sure to check out Red Barn TV. It's our weekly program of music, now on ABC 36 WTVQ. Red Barn Radio comes to you from our home, the Arts Place Performance Hall in downtown Lexington, Kentucky. Our website has updates and further information on our guests and our program. We're on the web at redbarnradio.com. And now, before we close out tonight's program, I wonder if we might get Andrew and the band to come back and do one more tune for us?
Sure.
All right. Andrew.
Okay, great. That's a song called You Are My Rock. It's a single out at the moment. In A.
Thank you. Well, thank you for being here with me. Thank you for being in my dream. For days you fill with happiness, filling up my emptiness. Well, thank you for showing me some peace. You are my rock, my everything. You are my rock, my only one, my everything. There are no storms or no hurricanes, across 7 oceans and burning plains. You won't be tamed. Well, I see people out in the street. They're just trying to make ends meet. My neighbors and their families with responsibilities, building all their dreams upon a rock. You're always wild and you won't be tamed. You're like a fire never to be changed. You're standing tall in the dropping rain. You are my rock, my everything. You are my rock, my only one, my everything. Where is this leading to? I dedicate my song to you. Another fool without a clue.
right.
Thank you for having us here.
Thank you, everybody.
Well, that's all for our show for this week. You can see and hear Red Barn Radio worldwide, though, as we stream live on the web on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch, Wednesdays, 7 p.m. Eastern in North America. And you can also listen to archived performances on Spotify and iTunes, and mountains of video on the Red Barn Radio YouTube channel. Remember, folks, every like, comment, share, and subscribe helps bring roots music Southern style to your neck of the woods. And finally this, if any of our featured artists are performing in your area, whether here, there, or in another country, get out there and hear them live. They need you now more than ever. From all of us here at Red Barn Radio to all of our friends worldwide, keep working together to be safe and healthy. And until next time, good night from Red Barn Radio.